So, the title of this is Story of a Pauper God, One Who Chose to Suffer. Many of y'all probably heard me before when I say oppression is atmospheric. You can only oppress somebody according to how strong they are to endure the weight of the oppression. So you have these manifest deities in the form of paupers, right? Now, we see people, homeless people on the streets, and some of us be feeling pity for them. But then you have other people who feel like they got what they deserve because they must have been a bad person. And you got another group of people who figure that if they was a good people, somebody in their family would take them in, right? So all these different views to view the homeless person that you see, right? So the homeless guy sitting on the corner with his cup, and people come. So most people pass him, don't even give him a second look. Occasionally, other people pass him. Some of them toss a quarter in the cup. Some put a couple dollars. Some will put a few dollars in there. But it's a different form of manifestation. You'll see what I'm talking about shortly. A lot of the ones who took the suffering on in order to carry the burden of the weight of the change has to be compensated according to the laws of nature. So a lot of the ones that we laughed at, scoffed at, looked down upon because they was in what we called adverse conditions of life, that had to be a position filled. Just like if you go read the jobs and the job descriptions, if you're going to be a janitor, you know you're going to wash toilets. So you got two options: don't be a janitor or wash the toilet. This is equivalent, the spiritual equivalent of the ones who we call paupers, the impoverished. Sometimes you see them people out there like that, but they might have millions of dollars in a bank account somewhere, and they just gave up their life they had to go living on the street as a pauper. So you look at the situation of the different levels. If you see that the people can't carry the burden of the society, you have to compel the strong ones at the bottom to just stand up. And that ends the game, because the atmospheric nature of oppression, where the strongest are normally the ones at the bottom. Think about it for a minute. If you're not strong enough to endure the pressure, however strong you is, that's where your pressure valve at. That's where your pressure valve at. So when you hit your pressure valve, you let the excess off. Now you can relax at the level you climbed up out of the oppression. They say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And then we say, motherfucker, I ain't got no boots. So now that tell us that if we need boots to play the game, we better learn how to make some. Or learn how to get some. Right? So, some of us, because we can take it, endure more suffering if it wasn't for spiritual purposes, it wouldn't be functional in the society. But because the society is the cross-section of the spiritual meet the physical, manifest the creation. Mental meets the spiritual, manifest the creation. It's the nature of the hologram. The hologram is to inform you that all things are the sum total parts of the whole. So it don't matter if you vegan or a carnivore or a pescatarian or a strict vegetarian. It don't really matter. What matters is the reverence you get of food that's going to sustain your life. The more reverence you get of food, the more healing qualities it'll pass on to the organism when you consume it. You think that you can't argue humanity of the animal if you don't argue the humanity of the plant. When I say humanity, I mean the sentient qualities, the living qualities. The plant feel, cry, weep, mourn just like the people do. But you just don't know it because you're not a plant, so you don't think like a plant. So you experience life looking on to the plant as if it's different from eating a chicken. When you get to your God mind and you realize that it don't matter what you eat, you have to look at the bloodline and how you developed your diet. Just hope you ain't one of them blood-sucking motherfuckers. Because you ain't staying here. I don't know where you going, but you got to get the fuck out of here. Baby raping, tree jumping motherfuckers. Got the whole atmosphere fucked up on Earth. Yep. So, you take the person that you're looking down on and ask yourself, what are you really seeing in your heart versus what you're saying in your head? Because if you're using your head to condemn the person that's in the adverse condition, then you condemning your heart to an adverse condition. You better read the motherfucking signs. The judgment that you meeting out on somebody else, you gotta match that shit in order for it to be balanced. You can't judge somebody for doing something that you don't do unless you recovered from doing it. Because now you got a frame of reference. That means that in this thing called life, we supposed to make mistakes to learn from them. Because when we born, we can't even read the manual if it was one here. We have to rely on the interaction of the energy exchange between the members of the family to understand the social structure. And so the pauper gods, the ones that take the most suffering, they do it because they can. And they mete out the greatest blessings. You know what you talking about, Rod? Energy exchange. The mutual reciprocal nature of energy exchange. You wishing, or you saying they deserving of their lot, and they chose their lot in order to help you use their lot to come up. If you didn't know what it would look like to be poor, you wouldn't even know that poverty was a possibility. That means you couldn't be impoverished. You need a frame of reference. You have handicaps being born in order for you to understand how lazy your ass is when you got a motherfucker with Down syndrome get further in life than you. That's another form of a guy taking an adverse position or automatic setback in order to have a hell of a come up. Cause when you look at it, you got motherfuckers running marathons with their legs cut off at the knee. But the average motherfucker so lazy, they look like they don't want to take that motherfucking time to exercise and keep their body in optimum working condition so it can last longer. Right? And then you got others. Who always got something to say about somebody else. The couch potato calling all the other couch potatoes fat slobs. But he doing the same thing they doing. That's how you understand the science of judgment according to the rules of the just. The rules of the righteous say stand in the position of right and tell the truth. And I'm off the right hand of my mama. And all she ever told me was the truth. She told me how to read the signs in my face behind my back. Here's the blueprint. Follow it. I'm gonna lay it all out for you, but I ain't gonna tell you what I'm laying out. You got to put the puzzle together. What you mean, Mom? You smart, you'll figure it out. Big Mama say you ain't gonna leave no stone unturned. What she mean by that? Ah, you smart, you'll figure it out. All things being secure. Right? At some point, the pauper God say, okay, that's enough suffering. I'm gonna bring this shit to an end and mete out the blessings to the righteous and leave the wicked where they stand to be dealt with by the rules of righteousness. Give them their reward according to their level of wickedness. Some of them gonna get hit with a soul splitter. Some of them gonna get split from the rooter to the tutor. But however you go, we gonna split this shit up. It's time to motherfucking divvy up the ends now. Baddest motherfucker ever born. Ain't even, that's not even big head. When you in the God mind, the unity of consciousness is the understanding that God manifests everywhere from the penthouse to the projects and everywhere in the middle. And that the proper preparation prevent the poor performance flips it around in order for you to be able to see what you see when you see what you saw. And when you see what you saw, then you cut that shit down the middle. That's how you divvy up the ends. Hey, Turtle from Detroit. So, I don't got a whole lot left to say, so I'm going to bring a couple.
What's good, Chief?
What it do, God? What it do? Where you chiming in from?
Man, we in Dallas right now.
Dallas, Texas in the house from the D to the
So,
motherfucking D. Detroit to Dallas.
I had a couple questions, right? So, I was studying up on Dr. York, right? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, how did they get Dr. York? Because ain't no way he was doing that bullshit.
So that's what they did. His son committed a lot of acts under the guidance of the FBI. And then they accused the father of doing the dirt the son did.
Damn. Even that census book that they had found,
The what?
they said that they had found a census book with a bunch of names in it or something.
Who found it?
Shit, I don't know. I was watching a video, and this lady was saying that they had found like a book with like 100 names of the supposed children that he was molesting or something like that.
That's the case file.
Okay.
Look, this was the giveaway right here. All of the kids that he supposed to molest had a traceable strain of herpes.
What?
Dr. Malachi don't got herpes.
Wow.
They know
Wow.
who the genetically traceable strain of herpes tied back to the whole time. So somebody said, well, why Malachi plead guilty? Go back and listen to the rejection of the plea by the judge. He said that he was pleading guilty under duress, under the
Uh-huh.
force of threat and coercion, and that they had threatened the life of his wife and his children.
Wow.
So he said what they wanted him to say in order to get his family secure first.
Damn. They had to do something with him because he was busting them up.
You
Man,
finna bust him up some more. Wait, wait till this new set of books he dropped when he get home come out.
he got new books coming out.
He always gonna write books. That's what he do.
Oh shit.
He gonna name names of the people involved in the case, the roles that they played, and all that. He know the whole story. The ones put him up to it, the ones paid him to do it, the ones reneged on the payments that they was offered. It was a lot of money being exchanged from the federal government to witnesses in that case. They don't want to talk about that part of the case.
Wow.
It was a lot of money being changed hands. It was music careers being bartered and acting careers. All of this is part of the FBI file on Malachi out of the COINTELPRO documents, which will be released to the public soon. Some of it was in a massive media drop about a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Good. Damn, man.
But really, he was a mirror for Jeffrey Epstein. Everything they
I,
accused him of, Jeffrey Epstein was doing it.
I remember you saying that, and Bill Cosby was a flip for Weinstein.
Weinstein, because
Yeah,
everything they accused him of doing, Harvey Weinstein was actually doing it.
yeah, I caught that.
We
Mm-hmm.
wasn't never supposed to find out. So those was their sacrifices in order for their people to walk.
Wow.
Look, Jacob York received over $100,000 from government payouts after the case was taken in.
His son?
Yeah. He said to leave his son alone. He don't want anybody to do nothing to him. He said nature gonna take its course. He said he'd rather for Mother Nature to deal with it than one of the Nubians, because he don't want that blood on his hands, because that's his son.
Wow.
They wanted to do something to him because a lot of them really was there when the plot was being hashed out. It was people in the room while the conversation was going on that came back and told Pops before all of the shit blew up what they was talking about. So then he had to do countermeasures. He had to put ears to the ground to hear what all the niggas talking about behind the scenes. So just like they was watching him, he had motherfuckers watching them.
Already knowing.
Documenting the whole fucking thing the whole time. And that's why it come out, a lot of it come out in his diplomatic proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the treaties, if they would have ever been signed with us, would have been in violation. But because we didn't never sign the treaties, when you argue the treaties, they be like, that shit don't mean nothing to us. Nigga, your ass out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he got to leave the information out in the public domain of what's taking place so that one of the other chiefs on the land can explain to the people what these dirty motherfuckers is doing. And it's all out in the public domain. It's not a secret.
Wow. Man. I was kind of pondering that for a minute. I'm like, how these niggas get York, man? Like, sheesh. That's crazy.
Look,
But
at the time they was having meetings to hash the plot to entrap Dr. York under the COINTELPRO program, right?
mm-hmm.
Dr. York was in one of the Nubian meetings doing a lecture called The Persecution of the Righteous,
Mm-hmm.
where he telling motherfuckers if we don't get together and if we don't get unified, they gonna come get me out the picture, then y'all gonna be fucked. But at the same time, he got infiltrated when they became the United Nubian Nations of Moors.
That's when he got infiltrated.
Yeah. Because they came in the same way. They came in behind some good Moors.
Mm-hmm.
And once they got in, then that's what made them be able to put him in the position to trip him up.
Mm. Man, that shit wild.
These motherfuckers ain't bullshitting with us, dog. We bullshitting with them, acting like trying to go along to get along.
Facts. I be trying to
They ain't
tell
gonna
people.
never appreciate no go along to get along ass nigga, because to them, you don't got no motherfucking spine. You ain't got no testicles. You don't stand for nothing. So lay your ass down while I finish sending these other motherfuckers to stand in your place. I give them a couple $1,000, they'll stand there.
Man, I be trying to tell people, like, there's a lot of shit going on that y'all don't know about.
When I first heard the Dr. York case, motherfuckers used to see, because they know I study with Nubians. So they come to me. I was like, man, I ain't got no answers right now. I ain't gonna just believe it because it just came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that they put it on the news. I need to be able to do my own independent investigation. So I
Right.
can't give you no opinion right now. But when I get done tearing this motherfucker apart, I guarantee you I can tell you what was going on.
And who did what?
And who did what. Where they came from.
Man. So another question I had, right, you know, with this whole Hebrew Israelite thing going on, I remember you saying, like, those were Enlil's children. Those were his descendants, right?
The Israelites, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't Israelites. We was already here. That's some after the fact ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
We've been practicing the divine right of kings to rule on earth ever since the firstborn of the earthborn parthogenic son of man, which is actually the son of the woman.
Right.
Which goes back to what caused the war in heaven.
Yeah, it's time to win the war now.
It became clear when Malachi told him in the scrolls that he was Murdoch,
Mm-hmm.
because he was the one had to secure Nibiru. Now that they ran across him on the earth plane after he done came back, because we won.
Mm-hmm.
Now he can tell them who the fuck he is, and they can't do nothing about it but do what they just did. That's the worst they could do.
Right.
Right? Now, he know that somebody was coming to get him. He told me before it ever happened. He said that system ain't gonna be able to stand the onslaught of the motherfucking shit that this right knowledge is gonna drop on their ass.
Yeah.
So all of the chiefs across the land now is established. We might not all know who they is, but all of the chiefs people know who the chief is. And just so y'all be clear, all of the chiefs not men. It's a lot of them that's women. It might be more women chiefs than it is men chiefs. So don't take that shit personal, because this ain't shit.
Facts. Facts. You have something you want to talk to him about?
Oh, I just wanted to say, hey, hey,
Hey,
Rod, and I
how
wanted
you
to say
doing?
I'm doing pretty good, and I wanted to say keep doing what you're doing because it's helping a lot of people, and we really appreciate listening to all of your videos and your lives all the time. You're great and a great role model as well, and we really appreciate it.
Facts.
Yeah,
He said,
so
thanks. I appreciate it. Got me over here
Ain't,
blushing.
ain't nobody dropping knowledge like you, Chief, man. Like, to hear elders speak like you in our generation is rare, you know, and it's very divine that you came at this time, Chief. Like, we appreciate you for real, man. I speak for everybody that can't tell you that, like, we appreciate you for real.
yes,
Thank you, thank you. One of the things in my whole process is I had to incorporate all of my elders that I admired into who I became
Mm-hmm.
in order for me to reach the highest potential in resolution of issues. I had to be able to see where they fail at, how they fail. This is going to expose the ops,
right.
right? Because there wasn't no pale faces in the Moorish Science Temple when the muftis let the motherfuckers have no Drew Ali to beat him to death. Wasn't no pale faces in there. Wasn't no pale faces in there when they killed in the nation when they killed Clarence 13X and when they shot Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They even got the ones that shot Malcolm X on video. A lot of us didn't pay attention to the movie cameras sitting right there in the goddamn Audubon ballroom that was hot and live when he got shot. Right? So the FBI confiscated all of the footage because the FBI under J. Edgar Hoover was controlled by the Moorish Zionist Jews out of upstate New York. That's who he worked for. They commissioned him through the Shriners Temple. He came in under the Scottish Rite, Freemason. Because you have to be a Mason before you can be a Shriner. Right? And he came from the Red House.
And that's the Red Lodge.
Yeah, and he was a mulatto. And he held loyalties to the Zionist Moors. This is why they kept kicking our ass. The illegitimate government is held up by influencing the people to make them think they legitimate. Soon as we find out that they tell you right in their law that this shit is all a money-making scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme in real time, and you all being the victims. They can't never take this shit from us. It's the law of the motherfucking land. They can borrow it until the close of the age and do whatever the fuck they can to come up in the meantime. We don't have to participate. So we leave the motherfuckers to their devices until one of us wake up and say enough is a motherfucker enough.
Thanks. That time. About that time.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So all of the elders is giving pieces to the puzzle. It's when you do the comparative analysis, what happened to all of these groups and what didn't happen to none of those groups, and who controlled what groups. All the groups we was controlling were infiltrated, and the leaders were overthrown by hanging in effigy. And some of them just was flat out murdered, right? And that was because of the Pope's bloody oath. I told these motherfuckers, go watch the Emmett Till movie. Somebody sent me the clip when they was putting him on the truck. Because them niggas heard him doing the whistles. Whistling is an old way of calling the warriors to combat. They call it whistling Dixie for a reason.
My grandma used to say that all the time.
Right, that's the war cry. And Chief Littlehorn, that's who Emmett Till was going to grow up to be Chief Littlehorn. That's why they had to kill him at an early age, because if he started rallying the troops, because he know the pitch to trigger certain DNA codons. And they know we know how to communicate using the pitch of the whistle. And we already programmed from doing this over multiple lifetimes. If he come into the self-awareness, the knowledge of self, who he is, Chief Littlehorn, what's my job? To issue the war cry to call the Braves to the motherfucking battlefield. It was over. They had to kill him. They knew who he was. It was some niggas that went and got him. They keep trying to blame it on that lady. She was the motherfucking Coach Severs in the situation. Fuck that old wrinkle that bitch. What? Let's talk about them niggas. Don't nobody want to talk about them niggas. The black hen of the South. That's how we got infiltrated. Now we know who them motherfuckers is. That shit, we can tell by they can't stop doing the same dumb shit. And we not going to keep falling for it redundantly. As soon as one of us figure it out, he got to put it in the public domain for the rest of us to see it. It's not personal. Right? I know that it was feathers versus fez, L's versus bays. That mean they all got to assume the identity of Moorish. So how do we separate them? Righteous Moors, dirty Moors. Boom, there it is, right there. How do you tell them apart? Those who move in righteousness and try to teach you the metaphysics in the tribal link back to the land, righteous Moors. Them the bays that took over the L's. It's not personal. It's just redemption process.
Family business.
It's family business,
Thanks.
not personal.
Well, so on the Black Nobility, that brings me back. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen the new Kendrick Lamar music video, but I remember you talking about how the JDL would call the artists up, right? Like they was doing Biggie. Okay, if you watch the video, he's like dancing and rapping, but every time the phone rings, he'll stop and like stare at it. And he does it like 2 or 3 times in the video. I recommend you watching it, but like the whole time the cord is unplugged and it's calling him. And I remember you and Myra talking about the 3Ks, Kanye, Kyrie, and Kendrick. So kind of make that
That's
connection.
11, 11, 11, which is 33 in the third, which is a master flip off of a master's knot.
Mm-hmm.
It's 33rd, 33 parallel. It's Mount Hermon. Scale the mountain. Playing King of the Hill. Who's the GOAT? Greatest of all time. So you take over the GOAT, greatest of all time, then you become King of the Hill. King of the Hill call the shots. The hill just so happened to be a pyramid, and the pyramid is just the structure of the family. Cream rise to the top, right? Sugar sink to the bottom. So I'm stirring up the family tree. Are you going to be an asset to the family tree, or are you going to be a liability? It's your choice. You know, are you going to learn how to be a leader, or are you going to try to be a dictator? Right? What's the difference? Dictator tell people what to do. A leader show them how to get shit done.
Thanks.
All right, I'm about to take another caller up.
All right, appreciate you, Chief. Keep up the
All
good
right,
work.
good looking. Appreciate you calling.
All right, man.
All right, bro. Get them
Peace.
niggas right.
Get them
I stay getting them bitch ass niggas. Fuck them niggas. Hey, hey, hey.
Right.
Where you chiming in from?
Man, listen. I'm originally born and raised from Cleveland, Ohio. I gotta rep that first. First most.
Ohio in the house to Cleveland. That's a
Right.
knockback receipt.
What was that?
That's a knockback receipt. I was talking
Oh,
about
you gotta
Cleveland,
say that?
Ohio earlier today.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
was collecting some receipts. I was collecting some receipts from somebody, and then they brought up Cleveland, Ohio. And Ohio is the Buckeye, and the Buckeye is the bullseye.
Right, right.
Keep your eye on the ball,
All the
right?
activity in
It's a hat
Ohio.
trick. It's a hat trick off a top hat, which is a trick shot in basketball,
Mm.
right?
The court of life for real.
You did.
Yeah, yeah. But see, I'm in Milledgeville, Georgia right now. I hate to put my city out there, but hey, that's where I'm at. It is what it is. I'm covered.
That's what.
I'm
That's
fine.
what. Malachi used to have his little community used to be not too far from there. Matter
Right,
of
right.
fact, that's who he was beefing with, the Milledgeville Sheriff Seals.
Oh, Howard Sills.
Piece of shit ass bitch made motherfucker.
Fat old piggy ass motherfucker. Yo, straight up out of them damn movies with the Southern cops, man. Got air for brains. But you know what?
the guy I met down here, I was originally up in the city, I came down here for like on some bigger goals, I kind of got shifted in an unexpected way because I just suddenly left where I was at in Cleveland and then just came here. Like, I
Calling
just
a
got up in
matriarch.
1 week and I left the next week.
It's calling a matriarch. You have to go where you're supposed to be at the close of the age in order to get what you're supposed to get when Big Mama get home.
Yeah, and that's what it's been feeling like. That's what's been on my spirit, heavy.
Yeah. So if let's say that your original first birth on Earth, where you at right now,
Hmm.
you was a princess there, and that's where your inheritance come through. So now you got to move in this lifetime back to where you supposed to be for Big Mama to find you. You in your rightful position, and then she can give you what's yours.
The way you just read me like an oracle, it's oh my goodness. I don't be wanting to say like I be having these thoughts, like more like so heavy, like meditating. One time I was meditating, like, I got this whole chart of people, you know what I'm saying? And it lined up to about 7, 8 things, right? I remember it was like blood of Osiris, seed of Asar or how's his name? Osiris' son,
Heru.
Heru. So blood of Osiris, seed of Heru. Then it was like throne of Set, crown of Heru. And then so I lined it up from like how, ancestry chart go, like it's just in my mind. And then how it looked afterwards, it was like Osiris, Set, Heru, had Heru, right? But so it was lining like a lineage of my bloodlines, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, okay, so
That
under.
means that you from the first family of Tahuti from the land, because you reading your genetic memory that's from years of being taught how to find our lineage, how to map the
Right.
family out, and how to find the hierarchy. So then when we start recognizing the character traits that's in the pantheon, we start matching them to the people in the family that represent that energy in the
Mm,
family, and this is how you put the tree back in its position.
wow. Yeah, I've been doing heavy work on my family tree. And you know what? It was also a guardian in there, It was by Set and Sekhmet. And I've been using Sekhmet. I can think about Sekhmet and think about a force field and Sekhmet just using that protective energy. I'd be like, get him. I just, you know what I'm saying? And I swear, whatever it is, like, the problem be fixed, solved. Like, I really feel protected. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
cause
just been so much crazy
so
stuff.
that's when you see Sekhmet and Bastet together,
Hmm.
they tell you that you high priestess on the cat clan, the felines. The
Oh my
felines is the
goodness.
female line, meaning the mother line.
Wow. This is like, oh my God.
So right, so it's showing you your right, your birthright. It's showing you how to unlock your birthright.
Damn. My
So
nickname Kitty, you know what I'm saying? I rap and I just was sitting down one day, right? I was like, man, I'll be on that Feisty Brown, on the Black Madonna, kind of tip. So I was like, Black Madonna, something like Cat Madonna. So I went with Cat Madonna. Like, that energy was just hitting me. Like, it was crazy. Like, how you
yeah,
just made it make sense. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
because of the cat clan, your mom's Don, and Don is an interim, a prince, or a princess.
Wow.
But you're using the mafia structure. This is the outlaw line.
Why outlaw? Because I feel very much so like an outlaw. That's me.
The
That's my.
outlaw line. The outlaw line is the children that you ain't supposed to know daddy had over there,
Oh wow.
but they still get their birthrights because they still from the royal blood. That's how you able to track the family tree. And that's why when you track it through the two female Sekhmet and Bastet together, this is the Sekhmet um, is the guardian for the next in line to be queen. which would
Wow.
be represented by Tefnut.
Wow.
So Tefnut is next in line.
Let me hold on.
So
I write this down. I got to.
when you
You
look
know,
at
I was rolling up. Oh, I got to write. Okay, go ahead. Go
just
ahead. I
look
got the
at the
pen.
hierarchy on the pyramid. It's going to show you how it works.
Let me show you something. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's the don't see, don't hear, don't speak evil. But I got the gorilla. I thought that was tough. But I got this before I even got put on to you. So I don't know. I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely feeling that energy.
Yeah. So you see covering in his mouth, right? Speak no evil, right?
Right. That's what I'm big on.
Right. So you speak life into a person by telling them how to map their genome by what they seeing in their visions.
Okay.
Right.
Mm.
So it's a secret being revealed in the open. You in the process of unraveling something. I'm just giving you keys to trigger your energy to see certain things.
Okay. So
So
out.
when it say you come in off the feline, the female line, that's the mother line. But you coming off the mother line, off the Blue Lodge, out the outlaw camp.
Okay. Outlaw. Okay. Camp. All right. All right.
This is the tribal structures.
Mm-hmm.
So in the village setups, when we set the villages up, we always
Mm-hmm.
had what's called outpost villages.
Okay.
And the chief normally had a household in each village.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he was called a traveling man, because he was always traversing the land to go check on his different families.
Wow. Do you know that lines up so well with what happens in my family? I like to say my grandpa was a Rolling Stone, but I mean, I guess it's disrespectful in the sense
It's the
that you.
same
Oh,
thing.
it's the same thing.
Yeah. The
My grandpa
Rolling
was a
right. The
G.
Rolling Stone is the displaced royalty rolling through the community as if they everybody else.
Wow.
The sleeping guys waking up to who they is. Then all they
Yeah.
gotta do is be they self, and then that's how Big Mama finds you. And she give you messages like that so that you'll know where to be when it's the time. You don't know. Wake up. Yep, I'm going down here. Boom, here I go. Ta-da. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know where I'm gonna be at, but I'm here. And then everything just fall into place. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I've had some very serious stuff happen since I moved here. I moved here in 2018. 2019, my grandma died. I was very close to her. 2020, my mother died. She was in and out of a mental ward my whole life because she was schizophrenic, like to a severe point. But my mom was very intelligent, intellectual. So I don't know what happened, but I know my mom is special though. Yeah.
So she's probably a Hyoka priestess. That's what they normally do, call us schizophrenic and dope us up.
Yes.
Cause we
How do you
able
spell
to
Hyoka?
Heyokaya.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, them the ones that used to be around the fire talking about hey ya hey ya doing the war dances.
My mom, she looks like that Polynesian type. She has that feel about her. I can, yeah, I feel
You
like,
could
yeah.
have it in the blood because the tribe sent warriors from all parts of the land when we was fighting the Gullah Wars. That's how the Haitian conjure got wound up in the Gullah Wars.
Okay.
Because soon as they won independence, they decided to aid and assist the Gullahs in defeating the Spaniard Armada in Florida.
Okay. My grandma, go ahead, go ahead.
So once they realized that the last thing left, Haiti turned it around down there and turned around for everybody. But the Polynesians sent warriors. They had Polynesian communities in Florida and California from coming over here to fight in the Gullah Wars.
From California, they came and had the station. I remember you talked about that. I remember that.
Yeah. And remember, a lot of a lot of princes brought teams from Hawaii, right? They rode across literally on boats to the mainland, and then they traveled by foot across the land to get to the Gullah Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us got a lot of the blood from the Hawaiian royal families mixed with us too.
Yeah, I noticed that. I can see
Mm-hmm.
that in my brother. My mom, my grandma. I see it. Yeah, from the hair texture, it's a certain tone in the skin.
Yeah. So what happened when they bless you in on one of your celebrated days, the elder women will give you blankets or they give you slippers. If they give you blankets, they are from the interior of North America because that's where it get cold at. And they
Right, right.
and they give you the blanket as a blessing to have a blanket in the cold. So it became synonymous with passing the blessing to somebody when you give them a blanket,
Mm.
right? But when you coming from the Polynesian islands, the power goes with the lady who got the slipper in her hand, Big
Wow.
Mama,
Okay.
right? And the lady that got the slipper in her hand is the one that run the clan. And when she say something, all of the soldiers listen. They don't give a fuck. They can fight each other all day long. When Big Mama say that's enough, it's enough. She take
You
that
know,
slipper off, you know you fucked up.
you know what that makes
Symbol
me
of
think
rulership.
of? Those sitcoms where it's always the neighbor or the mama who has the robe on, the bonnet with the slipper. And that's always Big Mama running things with the authority.
Yeah, because they trying to tell you Big Mama fighting for her position back, so she gonna turn these motherfucking boys loose,
Mm-hmm.
and they gonna rip this motherfucker apart if they can't get this shit right. The only way to get it right is to reverse engineer the process. How did you get here? What happened? So then you have to look at history from a scientific viewpoint to see anomalies, and then you got to use your psychic intuition to determine that this is not true. This does not fit the character and the nature of the ancestors that beat in my veins. We don't operate like that, right? But if they tell me that it's a conjure war, oh yeah, we gets down.
Period.
So
Right.
yeah, but now I'm looking at who's on the land at the time the invaders came. All you had was mid-range chiefs that was practicing to get to the hierarchy. So they
Mm.
had no high chiefs on the land, so they thought they were easy pickings. But they was all warriors going to war.
I remember that. I was there for that when you were talking about that lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now they get us to believe that we ain't from the land. They can convince us that we came from somewhere else. That means we forfeit our right to what's rightfully ours.
Right.
But the problem is they never expected that they call on this motherfucker. They told me to put it together, said it was Humpty Dumpty, fell off the wall. So shit, wasted potential. It's almost impossible to put it back together. Almost mean I stand a chance. If I stand a chance, I'm gonna win.
Right. They say almost doesn't count though. That's what they say. Of course, they would flip it.
hmm I just need an opportunity and a chance. I don't need nothing else.
Hope.
I'm gonna discover what it takes to be the best at the function, and then I'm gonna perform my task.
Yep. Um, can I go back to so I moved down here, right? I got heavy into, E5. First it was Mami Wata who came to me, then Yamoya, and then it was like Oshun. And they came like all the way down to the point where it's like they all filled me out, and it was like, "Nah, we gonna throw you on Oshun. You Omo Oshun, you Oshun's child." So I feel like I do have the blessing of all the mothers, but when I came down here, there was a temple, right? It's called Mami Wata Priestess Temple. You know, they did initiations and things, and I always would say, "I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna make it down there. I'm gonna make it down there." I said it through, you know, I've been in a grease fire. You know, all of this happened. It got me pretty good, about 28% of my body. You know, so that was like traumatic in itself. Cause man, I had to go outside and roll in the grass. I was on fire.
Hell
So
yeah, shit. High grease, a motherfucker.
hey, I bet you I don't do no dumb shit like that no more. Ever again. Yeah, but you know, I had a reading even before that accident happened. I was told Shango is mad at me, or Shango. I don't know how people pronounce it differently. Shango was mad at me. I said, why? Because they said I'm really almost Shango, but Oshun favored me so much that I'm really her child, because you know what Oshun wants, she get. Period.
Yeah, that's her.
Right, right. So
Yeah. So
that's
she,
me.
yeah, that's that high resonant love energy. So that's how you using all of those things to look across the same story told in different cultures in order to weave it back together. So now you get to find the members of your family who they represent, because you're gonna remember certain things that was done that passed you the juice from different people.
Right, wow.
It's just gonna come to you in flashes. You're gonna see it all. And you ain't gonna be dying. You're just gonna be waking up.
Yeah, you know. So, you know, I want to initiate to that. You know, I feel like I don't know how you feel. Some people, I listen to Bobby Hemmett where he says you really don't have. It's really according to you initiating yourself, or sorry, you just really awakening those
So it works. Yeah. So
energies of those
remember,
orishas.
the chosen are the ones who choose themselves, and you choose yourself by working for the position you chose yourself to accomplish.
Okay.
Because you the writer of your own destiny. And as soon as you surrender that right to somebody else, you surrendered your will.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
So now they can use your will to manifest their will, because your will and their will is 10 times stronger than they will alone. That's how they steal your creative potential. Try to put you in the box. If you let them put you in the box, that means you are surrendering your will to them. Grow outside the box and you take back your own destiny, because you have to work and develop into what you want to be.
Oh yeah, man. The gifts that I've gotten, like I'm clairvoyant in a way to where it's like a signal, a frequency I got on people. You know, I think about it happen. I know about it before it happened. Like it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's right. It's fitting. You know what I'm saying? I just
Mm-hmm.
have to stand in that power.
But even when you say crazy, right, that implies a certain wisdom of craftiness incorporated into the appearance of losing your mind. That's how yoga dance.
Right, man. Ooh, I like the way you wrapped that up. That was man. They ain't
Yeah.
ready for that one. They don't want to hear that. I don't talk about that.
Yeah. So that's why you got to see what your best life. You don't see it. You feel what your best life feel like, and try to keep yourself feeling that it's coming, that it's here. If you, the longer you can stay in the feeling, the more you draw it to you. Right? How do your
Right,
best life feel?
man.
Right? And that's how you find your way in the dark. Because
Even
you
if
got
it's hard, even if it seems hard, you
it's
got to do that.
so it's hard. So that means the harder it is, the higher you trying to climb.
Right.
The easier it is, you chasing the low hanging fruit. You squandering your potential. Welcome the challenge of the difficulty, because when you run into the difficulty, that means you're growing. The difficulty is the growing pains being revealed to you in real time.
I've been having that all my life, man. Like from childhood, you don't know. My name is Shamira. You know, it's Arabic, or you can say Hebrew. It means ready for battle, or battle ready warrior.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got that life path 11. I know you're supposed to put that stuff out because people, they know something about you. They try to put stuff on you, but on life path
Yeah,
11,
this is not the time. At the close of the age, we closing conjures. People sending shit out to other people, it's already sending it back to them tenfold. They better not be doing that dirty shit.
hey,
This is the reemergence of the rules of righteousness, right? So
period.
if you raise that back up, that frequency,
Turn it up, turn it all the way up, let it out.
yeah.
It's not time to hide it. It's time to invoke it and speak it. Yeah, yeah, because you just confirmed a lot of stuff for me. I got man, I got two real fine china. So I put water in all of them, and I just sat in front to where the peak of the triangle was in front of me, right? And so I'm just sitting in between the triangle, whatever. Then I'm like sun gazing. I was sun gazing at that point, right? And I was getting good where I didn't have to close my eyes. Like I was getting that energy. I was feeling like a solar panel or something. And so I sat there and I stared at the sun. And I kid you not, I mean, it shook me up. I was looking at the sun, and all of a sudden these like iridescent light colors just came out like in a spiral, like coming out big as the sun is getting smaller in between, right? And then it goes black. And while I'm looking at it, I'm feeling like it's pulling me in, it's pulling me in, it's pulling me in. And my mind, I don't know if it's out of fear or what, it's telling me I'm going somewhere. And if you keep on looking at this, you're gonna go somewhere and you might not know how to get back here. So real quick, make sure do you want to do this? I count down 10 seconds and then I just close my eyes because my eyes were like solid shut open.
Hey, this video about to cut off in about 2 minutes, and a lot of people was having difficulty hearing you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the live started glitching on you.
That's all right. Oh, see, that was deep. That was heavy. See, it's a meaning that man, the sun is a
Yeah, you
portal.
was
That's what it is.
projecting a lot of energy.
I got a lot to give.
Yeah, so control it.
Yeah, I'm trying to control it. One time I meditated and I stared at the handbag of my handle, and it was positioned a certain way. And I'm crazy. I'm crazy now that you told me the meaning, but that handle moved. Because in my head, I was like, move, move. See if I can make this move. Reading on stuff, practices and telling you just to try it. I tried it. And that happened, man. I ain't tapped into it like real deep no more after that. The stuff be shaking me for real. And then I get distracted with life. But man, if I gotta sit down and focus. Like I'm ready to do some war out here with the mind, conjure, you
Yeah,
know.
brain banging.
Brain banging. Period. Yeah, yeah.
All right,
I'm a
so
pretty gangster.
we down to 30 seconds. I'm gonna let you go out, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try to save this video before it cut.
All right. Check your inbox.
Okay, sweetie.
All right.
All right. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna come back on yet or not. I'm gonna share this live so y'all can watch it again if I don't.